What am I missing?
A statement you said about at least 3 or 4 times last segment. This Kiss by Faith Hill.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. It wasn't any of that. Certainly not. Got his ass cut.
Oh, hold on. Oh, Unstoppable.
Okay, thank you for that. Not where I thought we were going to go this morning.
Maybe he walked in singing Faith Hill.
We're going to need more information before we can give an opinion on that situation, but that is Christian Wilkins, his situation. Okay, looking ahead of the Lions, John, you found this quote, but I think it's a great conversation to have. Amon-Ra St. Brown has labeled the Lions underdogs.
Yeah, and his quote is, we're not back to square one, but we're back to square, you're still underdogs. We feel like we play the best when we're underdogs. We love being underdogs, and it gives us that hunger, that fight that our team is built off of. We're right where we need to be.
Do you feel like the Lions are underdogs?
No, I don't. I don't think they're underdogs. Are they the Super Bowl favorite? No. They weren't the Super Bowl favorite last year. At points throughout the season, if they were the number one team in other power rankings, not just the power surge here, but they were number one team at other times, maybe they were seen as the Super Bowl favorite on a weekly basis, but not before the season, and certainly not going into the playoffs.
So let us know, because, look, there's been a lot of discussion, tough schedule, lost both coordinators, lost 2 starters on an offensive line that was among the best in football.
Yeah.
Still no help for Aiden. You've heard all of the concerns. Does that make them an underdog? Because, John, they're still the favorite in this division. They're still one of the 5, give or take, best teams in the NFL. How can you be an underdog if you're one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the league, one of the 2 or 3 best in the NFC? You're not an underdog.
And independently, there are other publications that are saying that your roster is one that is a top 5 roster. Some even say as high as top 3.
Yeah, you guys had that last week.
Yeah.
Top 3 roster in the NFL. You can't be an underdog. Now, no disrespect to St. Brown. Use whatever you can as fuel. We know he's motivated by that. He's cut from the Jordan cloth of taking it personally. He knows all the receivers drafted ahead of him. Fine. Use it as fuel. We're asking you as a fan, though, does this label fit? 248-539-9797. Are the Lions underdogs?
And some of you, you're going to have to decide what your criteria is for making it an underdog. If you are going into a game, say you're going to Kansas City and you're a 3.5-point dog, like all that means is you're not expected to win that game, but it doesn't mean that you can't. So my definition, if you're double digits or you're 9.5, I'll say 9.5, it's going to take double digits to win. To me, you're an underdog. There is no game that the Lions are going into at the start of the season where they're going to be a double-digit dog.
Correct. Look, they're going to open the season right now as a 1.5-point underdog to Green Bay. But that's within the margin of error. That's a coin flip in the NFL. That's a road game where, it's basically a pick 'em. They're not an underdog. They have a roster full of young all-pros on both sides of the ball. They are the favorites in their own division. To me, an underdog is a team that you go could be worst to first, or a team that's starting over with a new head coach that you think, hey, people are sleeping on these guys. They're the underdog. Or, hey, new quarterback. The Lions aren't an underdog. They've got a lot of the same core pieces on this team. They lose Ben Jansen, right? That's a big headline. He's in the division. He's with Chicago. They're sorting stuff out. Who's still here on this offense? Quarterback, both running backs,
all
both
your
leading
skill players,
receivers, the majority of the O-line. And again, I have concerns. Will they be great? But they're still in the mix.
Yeah, but they addressed some of my concerns. You're still going to have 2 very young players on the interior of that offensive line. But I love the fact that Dan Campbell came out, was it yesterday morning, and said Graham looks really good at center. The offensive line looks good with him there. Unless something drastic happens, that's most likely the lineup that they will head into the season with. I was more uneasy when the thought of Tate Ratledge changing positions, going to the center position, because it's a key component of this offense. Now that Graham is going to be there and they're going to split up those two young guys, I'm much more comfortable. It doesn't put them in a top 5 of an offensive line, but I'm more comfortable going into it, if that's the weak spot, I feel better about that.
I think it was the right way to handle it. You want to stabilize this group right now, and to sandwich the rookies, the young guys, between vets, made a lot of sense to me. And I thought Graham Glasgow was super honest when he said it can take a full year for a player to grasp playing center at the NFL level.
Yeah.
And you know who took a full year to do that? Was Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
So for Ratledge, it's beautiful to slide him into playing in the NFL at guard, rep him at center as much as you'd like, get him up to speed, and he may be the long-term center. But this year, the best configuration that gives them a chance to win the Super Bowl is not burdening a player with playing center right away.
And I think we will see him at center at some point this year, not because he just leaps and bounds and improves so much, but Graham's old. And, I mean, I love Graham as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
we want him to play
retirement the other day.
But he's old. Like, when was the last time that he played an entire season? It's just, for 17 games, he missed time last year, missed time the year before. Now, if it's only one game, that's not a huge miss, but it does. Does a Wasika go in at guard and then they bump over Ratledge? So now you've got some questions. Hopefully that's not until, week 12 or 13, but you don't get to pick that.
Ticket, text, and phone calls. Are the Lions underdogs? Text says, if you feel they're going 10-7 and losing 40% of their games with the toughest schedule in the NFL, I can see how that would feel like underdogs, even if they sneak in the playoffs. Says, have you guys talked about Ben Jansen and Caleb Williams beefing at practice? Did I miss it? Justin in Madison Heights.
Let's say that again.
Ben Jansen and Caleb Williams beefing at practice.
There's been some reports. I know that he, kicked a rookie receiver
Burden.
Out of practice, but then he returned and he was taking teams okay, it's a new offense. There's going to be obstacles for that team. So
they're an underdog, right? I mean, they're new coach,
100%,
building a whole new scheme, new offensive line, all of it.
We should hear from Brad Holmes.
Oh, I was like, wait, we're not. Did I miss a guest spot? Corin in Columbus. Are you guys underdogs?
Absolutely not. And I need somebody to explain to me why Philly's the favorite. Because if I'm not mistaken, we lost 14 defensive players last year, and we still were the number 1 seed in the NFC. And when we lost our playoff game, we scored 31 points, which was more than any other team has scored in that week in the entire playoffs, other than Washington, who beat us. Not only that, didn't Philly lose their offensive coordinator too? I guess Detroit's the only team in the NFL that lost an offensive coordinator. Now they're only supposed to win 9 games. Now, I know you guys are saying that, but...
No, but the case for Philly would be they kept their O-line intact. Detroit didn't. They won the Super Bowl. Detroit didn't. And it's convenient to pick one week where the Lions had a big offensive outburst because they played Washington and scored 55 points. Yeah. They won by double digits in 3 of their 4 playoff games. They discoed on everybody last year.
Well, they had 3 out of 3 phases of football. We were playing with a JV defense, respectfully. I mean, where everybody was hurt, with an offense. I mean, of course, we have to play complementary football to be able to win, and we weren't able to do that. Now, when we get our players back, and don't get me wrong, Aaron Glenn was a loss as well, but when you see, I mean, obviously we hear what's going on with Aiden Hutchinson, and we actually get a real defense out there. We were actually one of the best defenses in the NFL last year when we were healthy. So I don't see any way. I mean, I just don't understand why everything that Detroit lost, which is things that other teams lost as well, including our attrition, to win 15 games in the NFL is hard enough. To do that the way that we did it with only our offense, the same thing that Joe Burrow had to do is what Jared Goff had to do, right? But we were able to do it, and they weren't. But apparently, the Bengals are supposed to be a great team, and the Lions are supposed to take a step back. I don't understand why we're supposed to take a step back when there are a lot of other things that teams lost as well that we didn't, and that we're getting back. We're getting back great players. Aleem McNeil is a great player. Yep. Aiden Hutchinson is a great player.
Yep.
Sure, we're going to have to replace our offensive line, but Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are still great players. I mean, all of the things that we're getting back are still great players, and I think we're still going to be a dominant team in the NFL. And I don't see why we shouldn't be. I don't see why we shouldn't be the favorites in the NFC with the number 1 seed.
I'd still give it to Philly, but I get why you're calling in. You got to stick up for the talent that's still on this football team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't have McNeil in week 1, but they will when the postseason rolls around, and he'll have more than a month under his belt. Hutch is going to be revved up at that point. Like, they will have some pieces they did not have last year.
Hutch is revved up now.
I know. Hear about the reports from the scrimmage yesterday.
Yeah.
It was all over the field. The Eagles deserve to be the favorites in the NFC right now.
Yes, until proven different.
But just because you're not the favorites doesn't suddenly tip the scales to now you're an underdog?
Yeah.
I can't go that far.
I can't either. And I agree that, yeah, they were able to accomplish a lot last year with a defense that was beat to hell.
Tex says, I love when fake Brad calls in. He sounds more like Brad than even Brad does. Well, there's some truth to that.
I know. Even as soon as he started talking, I'm like, it's amazing how much he sounds like Brad.
And he does the we thing too. Like,
yeah.
we. Oh, it's beautiful. Love it. All right, what do you guys think? Lions, underdogs or not? Bunch of ticket texts. Want your thoughts, 97.1.